There we go. What's up, y'all? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Changing some things up around here. Changing some things up. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. I don't have too much time. I only got about an hour today, so I won't be taking any calls today. I'm gonna take the phone number down. Cause yeah, I ain't gonna be taking no calls today. Well, should I keep the phone number up? Fuck. Skype is closed. You can't call in anyway. Anyway, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You can always hit the Cash App $DewanB1. You can always hit the Cash App $DewanB1. And we are here. I want to talk about a few things. I want to talk about a few things that went on today. First off, rest in peace, Irv Gotti. We will talk about the legacy of Murder Inc. Records. And when we get in talking about the legacy of Murder Inc. Records, please be intelligent enough to disassociate my opinions on the music that was released from the people. All right, we're gonna have today is gonna require maturity from the listener, and I cannot see the chat. That's why y'all see me clicking around right here. I want to see the chat. God damn it! The fuck is going on here? I don't give a damn about Zoom. And I got a bunch of windows open, but the chat is not one of them. What in Sam fuck is going on here? Come on, you can't get it right. There we go. I can see you motherfuckers now. I can see y'all now, you funky bastards. Welcome, chat. I can see your funky asses now. All right, cool. All right, we just make sure make sure my videos are lined up. Making sure my videos are lined up because I want to play this interview and I wanted to do some reviews on it. But also, first off, I want to say, like I said, rest in peace, Irv Gotti. You know, he's somebody who worked at Def Jam, did his thing in the streets. Apparently, I don't get into all that street shit. It's corny. But whatever happened, he worked his way up to getting his own label and distributed through Def Jam, and he made great business moves. He made a lot of people rich. He helped make a lot of people famous. So for that, I gotta say, job well done. Rest in peace. As far as we'll get into the impact of them on the other side. No, actually, we're here. I'm just gonna go with the flow. I'm already thinking about Murder Inc. Put that title in. What was Murder Inc.'s impact? Since we already here, what was our Murder Inc.'s impact? Let's talk about it. I liked some of the tracks. There were some hits, but we got to remember at that time when Murder Inc. dropped, late '90s. I think that was like '99 or something like that. It was like my last year in high school, first year of college when they started popping off. This was during the time that, and I don't look. I know a lot of people like music. What I'm about to say has nothing to do with what you like. Okay, I still like a motherfucking Big Mac. I just can't eat beef like that no more. But if I could eat beef like that, I would go get a motherfucking Big Mac right now. But guess what? If I get a Big Mac, I know that shit ain't good for me. I know it ain't good for me. I'm under no illusions. If I go get a Big Mac right now, it's not good. But I still like it. You dig? It's a lot of things. One of my favorite movies of all time is a movie called Nothing But Trouble. Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase. It's a scene with Digital Underground. It's a movie called Nothing But Trouble. Let me see if I can find it. Love this fucking movie. Me and my sister know every single line almost from this movie. But no matter how much I love this movie, no matter how much I know every line, it's a terrible fucking movie. It's horrible. And part of its horribleness is what helps me love it so much. If this comes on, me and my sister will know every single line. If you're in an ambulance, you have a chance. But if you're in a hearse, it's got to be worse. You know, I love this fucking movie. But it's shitty, terrible, horrible. But it's classic. But it's horrible. It became what you drove through today, burnout coal fields. But you know what those stock certificates are worth today? About the finest outhouse wallpaper you've ever seen. I know every line from The Reeve, but the movie fucking sucks. So we gotta understand the difference between what we like and what's cheesy, what's corny. What I'm getting ready to say right now is nothing on Irv Gotti himself. All right. Again, Irv Gotti himself, he's a great businessman. You dig what I'm saying? Great businessman. Great businessman. Hold on. But Murder Inc.'s music fucking sucked. All right? Let's make it clear. They came around at a time that the music industry was, if for those of you who are on my Patreon, people on my Patreon and that have been following my destruction of black music series, y'all know what I'm getting at. The Conspiracy to Destroy Black Music, this series that I've been doing on Patreon. If you're a part of this series, you understand what I'm talking about. About the planned destruction of black music. How they wanted by the year 2000 black music to just be a whole bunch of huff and pluff, stuff and nuff. Snuffleupagus, just filler stuff. Like McDonald's, like Tyler Perry films, Murder Inc. was widely popular. But Ja Rule, nigga, what? It's murder. That shit was love. Got to do with it. Got to do with it. That shit was terrible. I don't care what nobody says. One of the biggest gaps in true music production, I always use this song as an example. Rain by Ashanti. 20 million streams. Very, 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 very popular song. That's just plastic cheese. Ain't nothing here to keep me warm. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. My ears, my ears, my ears. very thin. And I've used this song as an example on my Patreon. I can't go too deep on YouTube. That is a far departure of the original. You hear the difference in texture? It was like one was giving me a Happy Meal on a paper plate. The other was giving me filet mignon on a silver platter. That's what I mean by sucks. Not because Ashanti was a dope songwriter. She's a songwriter like a motherfucker. But vocally, she should be the demo artist. You know? They really lowered the quality of our music by the time we got to the late 90s. It was like after Tupac and Biggie died and all the radio stations got bought up, you went from high quality, like, hear the string? You go from that level of quality to same melody, but it's like it's like going from a smooth riding Rolls Royce to a stick shift Nissan. The stick shift Nissan is gonna sell way more quality than a Rolls Royce. You dig? The stick shift Nissan is always gonna outsell a Rolls Royce. Always. More people are gonna have it. It's gonna be more popular. But the way the music industry did us as black people in eroding the quality of our sound, all of that in 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, the stuff that was hitting the radio, I'm a millennial. This is my music of my era. We gotta be real. Fuck nostalgia. That shit sucked. In 2000, 2001, a hit song was Say What, Say What, Say What, You Know What's Up. Those was the lyrics to the hit. You didn't have to write. It was like, oh yeah. And I love Donnell Jones. But I think he'd even say that was a throwaway song. Donnell Jones probably like, how did that song become a hit? Say what. Catchy as fuck. You can vibe to it and bob your head to it. You can bob your head, nigga. But it's like eating a Subway sandwich. You know that bread ain't real. And he isn't Murder Inc. But I'm just talking about that era in general. Because it wasn't just Murder Inc. It was everything that went pop at that time. It wasn't good music. It was good music. It was vibey music. It was catchy music. But it was McDonald's. Let's just tell the truth. I can be honest. That Nelly popped off in that era. PD Pablo popped off in that era. I mean, a lot of mistakes happened during that time. And I don't apologize, no matter how people feel about the music. The shit was trash. And it's okay. Because I like Philly cheesesteaks. But them hoes is trash. You liking it has nothing to do with it. A hit is a combination of marketing, budget, and accessibility. That's a hit. Market it right, play it loud enough, long enough, people are gonna like it. But I don't care what nobody says. Yeah. You know why that song is a hit? Because Stevie Wonder made it a hit. This. Baby, it's a typical everyday one night thing. It's a physical. I'm a love The reason why that song was a hit, because Stevie already made it a goddamn hit. That's why it was a hit. This is why it was a hit. When I sing, it was already a hit. You took that beautifully written and produced Stevie Wonder song, stripped it down, took the horns out, took the drums, the live and everything out. You basically took a wonderfully produced classic. That song even, the original even had Dizzy Gillespie on at the end. That part of the end playing the trumpet, that's Dizzy. And Stevie even raps on that motherfucker. He raps horribly, but he raps. Wait, where's Dizzy's part? Okay, I'll get to it. Hey, and this for my members, if YouTube hit me with playing too much music, always understand that the full videos, if I have to edit some music out, the full video is on my is gonna be on my membership page, and the replay of this will come back up. But you gotta be a member if you want to get to play back and hear the music parts of it, because sometimes YouTube tells me I played too much of a song, so then I gotta take it out. But if I gotta take it out on YouTube, I'll re-upload it to the membership page with the music in it. All right. Well, anyway, that shit was a hit by Ja Rule because it was already hit. Like, you can put any old voice over that song, but it's a hit. Everybody let me live it up. Hey. Ja, one thing Murder Inc. did was they did a good job of combining the melodic, the singing with the rapping, but it was terrible singing. I mean, horrible. After Murder Inc., anybody could get on a mic and sing. When you go from this, like, when you go from this, and this is a good song. Watch me smoke. I never knew another human life could have the power to take over. You know what that does? It opens the door for somebody who can barely sing to somebody who just can't sing. We go from Murder Inc. and Ashanti to Rihanna. That's how the door opens for Rihanna. When you get that lackluster, lazy ass singing. Meanwhile, you had all kind of real singers during that time in the late 90s that couldn't get Shantae Moore. She was still hot at that time. They wasn't trying to play Shantae Moore on the radio like that. Deborah Cox, Tamia, you had some singers that all got pushed to the side So the people who control the money can fund lackluster rhythm and blues and simple ass rap. Everybody let me get it up. And from there, you devolve to Rihanna. You devolve to Drake. And of course, Drake can be a hit with his emotionless ass singing. Because we got emotionless ass music in the late 90s. That shit was horrible. So, again, I'm not here to talk shit or nothing like that, but I'm just here to tell the truth. We can easily get nostalgic about our day. You know, I like to get nostalgic sometime. We all do. But thank God Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and D'Angelo dropped around that same time too. Thank God. Because you see how all that stuff came on the heels of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill had just dropped in 98 and dropped one of the most impactful albums of the 90s. Hell, even through now. That shows you the appetite for the listener wanted to hear more live music, some more substance. Didn't really care about that. Even though there was some samples on Miseducation and Lauryn Hill, it wasn't sample reliant. Hold on. Come on, Rocky. Come in. All right. Rocky banging on the door. You good, Rocky? You good? Rocky came knocking on the door. Now let me making all that goddamn noise, homeboy. But the appetite wanted more Lauryn Hill. And we got Ashanti. And Ja Rule. And Murder Inc. Lauryn Hill ain't the only one that's in depth that can do all that. But when you get to the late 90s, they not looking for no more Lauryn Hills, man. The early 2000s, see, Jill Scott popped through on Hidden Beach. Erykah Badu popped through on Motown. Them smaller labels, because you still have some independent radio in the early 2000s, allowed those ladies to pop off, allowed D'Angelo to pop off in the mid 90s. Maxwell, Lucy Pearl, you know, there was enough independent labels still out there and enough independent radio stations. I remember how Who Is Jill Scott dropped here in popped off here in LA. Believe it or not, you don't even notice if you're from LA. But Steve Harvey had just gotten the Steve Harvey Morning Show on the Beat. And you know Steve Harvey old school, but the Beat was the hip hop station out here. Steve Harvey, when Who Is Jill Scott dropped, when this shit had dropped, when man, this one here, when this shit dropped, I remember Steve Harvey going on a whole campaign on one. I see your intentions. You can't have. I remember him going on a whole campaign on 92.3 The Beat. It was like, what the hell? We play all this music where the people ain't singing. It ain't no live music. Then we get a Jill Scott and they not playing this. Because a lot of people were calling in. What was that song? What was that song? What was that song? I remember Steve Harvey going like on a full-on crusade. This back when Steve Harvey was halfway, likable. I remember in 2000, 2001, I was in my freshman year of college. I was catching the bus to school, listening to the radio on my Walkman. And I remember Steve Harvey going on a full campaign to get Jill Scott regular radio play because it was like, damn, music is really changing right now. I'm only bringing that up for you younger people to know that when you hear these old niggas talking about your music, don't let them get away with it. This shit was going on in 2002 when It was just like the music was getting real stale. And like Jill Scott was a breath of fresh air. Hold on, Rocky. Man, Rocky, you temperamental motherfucker. Go. Get on out of here, boy. I thought you wanted to kick it. Little asshole. I thought Rocky wanted to kick it. Anyway, so this is what happened, was going on during that time. I'm not about to sit here and get nostalgic and say, oh man, back in my day, back in my day, some of the music sucked, especially the popular shit. The popular shit sucked in my day. I was in the clubs, I know. I'm in college trying to get some music. You couldn't find nothing on the radio that was going to relax you if you had a test. You had to go back and listen to some neo soul, which they weren't trying to put on the radio like that, or you had to go listen to something else. If they was putting it on the radio, my college years, I would have failed them motherfucking tests if I was listening to that shit. So, young people, don't let these old niggas get nostalgic on you and be like, in my day, the music, no. That Ashanti Ja Rule era opened the door for the Drake Rihanna era. I promise you. I promise you. Yeah, let us see Layla Hathaway. It was so much. That Murder Inc. shit, that Nelly, that was novelty music. B2K, Omari, all that shit was just like, that was like novelty music. That was like kids bop. That's all that shit was. I promise you. The shit that kind of makes it through to this day, like the stuff that made it through, that stuff wasn't hot when it came out. Music Soul Child was hot. I love Music Soul Child, but they was playing Music Soul Child to the side back in that time. They was playing music. That's why they call it neo soul. That was the industry's attempt to other the music, when in fact neo soul was true soul. This shit and I'm talking about the whole. Not just neo soul, the melodic rap at the time. Common, that was good fucking music. Fuck Electric Circus. I love that shit too. Like Water for Chocolate, era Common, Try. I mean, there was a lot of good rapping, but during that time, the industry wanted that other stuff. There was good stuff that was being produced and played. Now, I'm not here to say the whole era was trash, but I am here to say that a lot of the good stuff was othered. It was pushed to the side, like, oh yeah, that was a good little song, but yeah, it wasn't gonna be honored at the Soul Train Awards, and it wasn't gonna be honored in the streets. The streets had bad taste at that time. It was a lot of good music that. It's a lot of great artists, Frank McComb and Eric Darius and Roy Hargrove. The stuff Roy Hargrove was doing with that Electric Lady Studios, with the Roots and all them at that time, man. But again, all that music at that time, they othered that music. They othered that music. Yeah, Outkast. People was being critical of Outkast. Remember when Love Below dropped? People was all being critical, man. Hell, even when Bombs Over Baghdad dropped, I'm drawing a blank on that. Outkast is my favorite motherfucking group, and but I get the. I'm dyslexic. I'm trying to get the. As a criminal, it was mid '90s. Stankonia, yeah, that album. Stankonia was a shit. Yeah, every Outkast album is a shit, man. Outkast is 5 for 5. Hell, 6 for 6. Because that goddamn soundtrack that they had was dope too to the movie. I'm drawing a blank to the movie soundtrack. Yeah, Stankonia. Niggas was. I remember being in college. People was like, man, Outkast is getting a little bit out there right now, man. Even though Miss Jackson did hit, Miss Jackson crossed over. That shit was just so goddamn good. But I remember like when Bombs Over Baghdad hit and all that. Man, this is my shit on Stankonia right here. This is my shit right here. Back on the microphone, your number one controller. I rock the microphone like a blizzard. That's probably my favorite song on the album. I love this shit. Especially when you get to the bridge. When you get to that bridge where Erykah Badu come in. That bridge, this song opened up like a motherfucking flower. Let me listen. Hey, YouTube might take it down because of that, but I had to get to that part. I love that motherfucking song. So if I got to edit that part out, you'll get the whole part over on you as a member. Man, so I'm here to tell you, they were still making some good motherfucking music during that time. All right? Make no mistake about it. One of my biggest regrets was not going to that Stankonia tour, man. Jess Smith. One of my biggest. I said I'll get them next time, and it was no next time. That was my biggest regrets because me and my friend at the time, wife now, but we went to go see. I went to go buy tickets that summer. We saw Erykah Badu and Common go on tour together, but it was at the Universal Amphitheater. Bilal opened up. Then it was Common. This is when Like Water for Chocolate was out. Common came and Erykah Badu. And it was like Outkast was gonna be there like about a couple weeks later. And I was a freshman in college, y'all. I was broke. All right? That's why I didn't go. I couldn't afford 2 sets of tickets. That's why I didn't go, goddamn it. Damn. I was a freshman in college. Damn. But I remember saying, oh, I want to go. And I could have put it on my credit card and I didn't. God damn it. One of my biggest regrets. One second. All right. Ooh, I should have had tickets for both. But I was a broke ass college student, y'all. Jeff Smith, why you got to remind me of one of the concerts? There's 2 concerts I regret not going to. That one and James Brown at the Hollywood Bowl, September 2004, right before he died. I could have gone, and I could have afforded those tickets. That was nothing. And I was just like, and then he died 3 months later. That's why I go to every goddamn thing these days. That's why I go to every damn thing. Outkast, who knew Outkast was going? That was their last tour. Damn it. So I was broke, man. I was just like, shit. I was mad. Yeah, I go to everything now. Shit. I go to everything now. I'm so glad I got to see BB King 6 times before he died. Got to see Chick Corea before he died. I saw Frankie Beverly and Mays twice within a month. And back in 2019, I've seen in like twice in 1 month. I've seen Frankie Beverly Mays in New Orleans twice. I've seen them like 15 times in total. Earth and the Fire, going to go see them again this summer. Parliament. I took my dad to see Parliament a couple years ago. And that was a dope ass show that they had. But yeah, man. But back to what we talking about. So yeah, y'all keep coming up with names. There's a lot of dope ass names at that time. But all of them, but people who was around that are coming with them dope names during that time, even on the rap side of the game, like when you look at the early '90s in rap, the early '90s in rap was just such a wide range of greatness in the early '90s. Such a wide range of greatness. By the time 98, 99 hit, those early, you had a lot of cats who never really got to, flourish because a lot of record labels got bought and sold, and small labels that released cats like Domino, the cats that released them, that released those a lot of those labels got gobbled up by majors, and then the majors kicked all of those smaller names off. Like people act like Scarface ain't a motherfucking god of music. You know what I mean? But a lot of that stuff, I think Scarface got played a lot, if you ask me. The way the industry treated Scarface and still continues to treat Scarface. Too short. A lot of those good music. But a lot of that good music got pushed to the side and played to the side because the industry was really pushing this bullshit. Songs not talking about nothing. Songs with no depth. Production that's just flat and sampled and chopped and screwed up. I'm not gonna say chopped and screwed up. Oh, and tomorrow we're gonna have Dr. Randy Short on. Randy Short, Dr. Short's birthday's on Sunday, but the Sunday is Super Bowl, and I know good in the hell well ain't nobody gonna be watching on no goddamn Super Bowl Sunday. But tomorrow we're gonna have Dr. Short on. We did a Patreon yesterday with Dr. Short that I'm not going to release here on YouTube because Dr. Short went. I ain't getting in trouble with YouTube, so you gotta go over to Patreon to get yesterday's, or be a member. Either be a member or go to Patreon to see Dr. Short yesterday. My goal was to do enough YouTube safe and then have an extended Patreon. But Dr. Short jumped off the bag like just coming in like yeah. I'm like, all right, Dr. Short, shit. Yeah, we're gonna keep this here. We're gonna keep this over here on Patreon. So we'll Dr. Short now we're gonna be celebrating his birthday tomorrow, and we're gonna do more of a lighter hearted talk on what's going on politically tomorrow here on YouTube. So, but we are going to be celebrating Dr. Short's birthday. So I asked him if we can go live. He didn't ask. I asked him if we can go live so we can get donations to his Cash App for his birthday. All right. But that transitions me into what's up, Emmanuel? Good to see you in the chat. Boris Shock, appreciate everybody for joining. Let's go into review this Kendrick interview. I want to review this interview with Kendrick Lamar that he had on Apple. It was a dope interview, and I want to talk, about some of the things he had to say. Not only about, he didn't mention Drake by name, but the questions were asked and talked around. But it was some key things. There was some key points in this interview I wanted to get at. Just as an artist, just as a creative, and I want to, talk about, some things that he said because, like we were talking about earlier, music, and if y'all want me to, I might even get into some of his cards. Yeah, and if y'all want me to, also, I can at the end, I can do some of Irv Gotti's cards too if y'all want to see what's going on with him. Let me know. Well, I might make that. I might do that on Saturday. I might make that a separate show because I don't have time to go into the card. I think Saturday we'll do a card show on what's in the cards. What we going like a Super Bowl cardology show on Saturday. That's what we gonna do. We're gonna do like a Super Bowl cardology show. Woo! Woo! Mystery Dewan. Hey, that's a good question. You know what? He asked me, do I like CeeLo Green's first solo album? I'm gonna answer it like this. I've never been a big fan of CeeLo Green's albums. I don't really like a whole lot of his albums, but I love that motherfucker as an artist. Like, I like what he does. I appreciate what he does. A lot of what he does isn't necessarily my style. Like, it's not in alignment with my energy, but you'll never hear me say a motherfucking bad thing about CeeLo Green. That is a god of music right there. But like anything else, some people you don't really get into their music like that. But you still know that they're musically fucking dope. I like a lot of CeeLo songs, but album wise, I haven't gotten too many albums. Another dope concert I went to was Music Soul Child and CeeLo Green on the Just Listen tour. CeeLo opened up for music. This back when never thought that we could ever be. That shit. Half crazy. Excuse my singing. I'm sorry. That was this era. I went to go see that and CeeLo. And this motherfucker CeeLo, that's who I want to see. If anybody was gonna go do a Frankie Beverly tour and sing Frankie Beverly, it would have to be CeeLo Green. It would have to be. This dude did Golden Time of Day. He covered Golden Time of Day. I've never, because CeeLo still got that raspiness in his voice. I ain't never heard nobody before or since do Frankie Beverly like CeeLo Green. When that motherfucker got to the bridge of Golden Time of Day, when he what? That motherfucker, he did his thing like, you ain't gonna say nothing bad about CeeLo to me. Although I wasn't, I know how to draw the line between what I like and what's still good quality. He still has supreme quality music. It's just really not my style. You dig? But let's get into this interview, all right? Let's get into this interview. Oh, y'all see my drums? I changed I changed my backdrop up. Yeah, this is my drum. This is my drum set when I was in the studio recording the last time I was recording sample packs. So those sample packs that you hear, that was me recording this day. Sabian cymbals, that's the only way to go. Fuck Zildjian. All right, let's go.
Happening, all the success.
It's just really just
Can y'all hear?
Super Bowl with this?
Wait.
The passion I have now is still the passion. For seeing everything kept me in the grounded state of mind. You know, rapping or doing hooks or choruses.
I'm trying to get to a part. Hold on.
Halftime show ever, and now for you to come back and be the first solo hip hop artist to headline. How does it?
All right, there you go. What's my Cash App? My Cash App is right here. $ Dewan B1. $ Dewan B1.
Feel being the artist to hit that milestone, and just your thoughts on what that means about hip hop's progression and impact over the years.
But it made me think about like the grind of it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't see like the story before the glory, man. And that's like shuffling out your mixtapes and going to neighborhoods and parties and performing there, hole in the wall spots, it reminds me of the essence and the core response of rap and hip hop and how far it can go. So for me, that mean everything because it puts the culture on the forefront where it needs to be and not minimized to just a catchy song or verse. This is a true art form. So to represent it on this type of stage is like everything that I've worked for and everything that I believe in as far as the culture. Like I live and die by it. This changed my whole family life, so I don't take it for granted at all as far as an art form, you know?
That part right there. Kendrick is talking about right there. Kendrick is talking about, being there on the art and hip hop now getting to the Super Bowl and how it's not just a side thing. Here's the reason why I stopped at that point. You notice what they're doing with hip hop now with them saying Latinos and Jamaicans and the diaspora created. That's a play because they've always played, the industry itself has generally always played hip hop off to the side, and it's always only used hip hop to market things, market Raider jackets, to market Adidas, Nikes, to market presidents even. Jay-Z, Obama. Remember, Jay-Z was still licking his wounds from Nas ether in his ass. What really made Jay-Z mainstream, let's make it, tell the whole truth, shame the devil. What made Jay-Z mainstream was marrying Beyonce, number one. She put him mainstream, not his music. To you young niggas, let's be very clear. These old Jay-Z stands, and to you young dudes, Jay-Z fans are a lot like bronsexuals. They're a lot like they're just old. Not all Jay-Z fans, but Jay-Z has a particular fan base that's just an old gray beard version of the Drake fan base. All right, the dudes that when they hear a Jay-Z song, it reminds them of the last time their hairline was current and they weren't on child support. So outside of that fringe audience, Jay-Z was not mainstream. Beyonce made him mainstream. And then once Beyonce made Jay-Z mainstream, President Obama used that black power couple to rub elbows to show his cool side. Because even if you go back to the 92 election with Bill Clinton, remember when Bill Clinton had to go on the Arsenio Hall show, put them sunglasses on and play the saxophone? Democrats feel that they got to be cool with us. We all see it. We all see it. Everybody other than vote blue, no matter who niggas see what it is. Democrats like that cool factor because they ain't gonna get the black people shit. They ain't giving us nothing, so they got to play on that cool factor. So the Jay-Z Beyonce power couple being on stage and waving with the Obama quote unquote power couple gave it did two things. It showed the people, us millennials and the young black folks at the time, that okay, President Obama's cool. He with Jay-Z. And it showed the white people, because white people love, like, Beyonce is white women's best friend. Like, that's why Beyonce stay in them damn blonde wigs. Every white girl that go to yoga class think that they Beyonce. Yeah, y'all be seeing it. White women, get it, girl. Like Beyonce, yeah. Like, yeah. Beyonce, yeah. Beyonce is every white girl's black friend, all right? The same way Tina Marie is every black girl's white friend. Can you dig it? So Beyonce and Jay-Z told these hipster white people, the generation that grew up on hip hop, that the black people think that they're cool. Because believe it or not, everybody be waiting on our social cues when it comes to coolness. If the world wants to know, now certain things we get left out of, but when it comes down to the cool factor, the world waits to see what black people are doing for the cool factor. And Hillary was having a hard time. Hillary had Magic Johnson and all the old niggas, but Barack Obama had Jay-Z. Outside of that, hip hop was always this side thing. It's black, 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 black. Now, in the post-Obama era, in the Jay-Z era, picking the Super Bowl title contender or whatever, I mean, halftime artists, you cannot deny hip hop place in music. You can't get played to the side like they used to do when country music was on top. Hip hop cannot be played to the side like it's not pop. So that's why you see this push to all lives matter hip hop. That's why it's such a strong push to all lives matter it. Because a lot of what Kendrick is saying right here is you can't deny where it is now. So since you can't deny it anymore, as long as you were denying it, it was just some nigga shit. As long as you was denying it, it was just some nigga shit. Now that you cannot deny it, all of a sudden, it's everybody. Jeff Thomas, I appreciate the cash app, my brother. I appreciate the cash app. You did? Yeah, Jay, Mary, and Beyonce gave him the relevance. If he didn't, Jay-Z was not the winner of his generation. Jay-Z's an old nigga by the time he really popped off. Like Nas is younger than Jay-Z, and he popped off way sooner. Like Jay-Z just would have been a corny old nigga at some point. He would have gone in because his music wasn't about shit in the 2000s. If he didn't marry Beyonce and get that, and if you want Leo Cohen's boy, whole another story. Whole nother story. Yep. So let's keep going. I want to fast forward to a part. Let me see here. Where's my timestamp? Where is that timestamp? Where's that timestamp, you funky motherfucker? Let's go.
Yeah. And then GNX comes along.
I'm gonna go back to the beginning of this question. That's what it is.
And it was album for the. It feels like each album too, getting to this point was like, it was an album for the culture, and it was an album for the critics. You know what I mean? And then it was for the critics.
Yeah.
And then GNX comes along, and it's like, nah. This is an album for anybody, everybody, and anybody who want it at any time. And you brought that energy, and the energy you brought on GNX was an energy that I don't think was really happening in hip hop. Like, it's a Public Enemy level energy. It's a Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted energy.
For sure.
Like, it's a classic, timeless energy. Talk about your headspace between Mr. Morale and this GNX.
Yeah, no, that's great. Go back even further, man. Speaking on that energy, like it's my cousins was like DJ Quick, and Dre, these folks that my people was playing. So I always had that DNA. And you heard that DNA a little bit on Good Kid, Mad City, but I wanted to tell my story first, right? Right. And fast forward to GNX, I felt it was just a perfect time because not only the energy was lost, but it was the energy that was bubbling inside of me as well. I wanted to go back to the forefront of just the bite and just the grit of rap, just all raps and hard-ass beats. And that's like the basics for me. I thought about, damn, what I used to like when I was a kid. Hard raps, good beats, that's smacking, right? And it was a great transition from Mr. Morale because that was my most intimate. I wanted to go inside of my own psyche and my own personal withdrawals and see how it connects with the public and who can relate. So during this time around, I think it was necessary of coming out of that cocoon and feeling like, okay, I arrived now. I can spread my wings and show every state of who I am as far as Kendrick Lamar.
And you
That's what part I want that answer right there. I want to play that full answer out before I go back and review a certain part of it. I want to play this whole answer out. And I want to go back and break down a piece of that answer right here for you.
For me, I thought about, damn, what I used to like when I was a kid. He was lost, but that's great. Go back even further, man. Speaking on that energy, like it's my cousins was like DJ Quick, you know, and Dre, you know. These
Here's the reason why I want to play that part. What do I always tell you music is? What's my DeJuan Brown quotable? Music is a sonic interpretation of your environment. When people are inspired musically, they're not pulling from DNA from Africa 600 years ago. You're pulling from your immediate environment. What are you listening to here, around me? You're not immigrating, just your parents being born in Jamaica, Pete Rock, has nothing to do with it. Your music comes from what you're listening to, what your cousins are playing, what your mama playing, what the neighbor play, what you hear bumping down when you're driving down the street, the weather patterns, the building structures. Are you built on top of each other, or are you in an area that's more spread out? That's what music is. And Kendrick is telling you that. I like playing his interviews because when you listen, Kendrick is an authentic artist. He's not a fly-by-night. He's not somebody who got paid to act. He's not an actor that can just do what a production team tells him to do. And that's a lot of singers and rappers these days. They're just people who can go into a booth and do as instructed. That's what Cardi B is. That's what Drake is. That's why Drake couldn't freestyle for shit. These are people who the production puts together everything. All they got to do is act out the sound. Kendrick's not that. And for the innovators, the true artists, you find and you see that music is just a sonic interpretation of your environment.
folks that my people was playing, so I always had that DNA. And you know, you heard that DNA a little bit on Good Kid, Mad City, but I wanted to tell my story first, right? And fast forward to GNX, I felt it was just a perfect time because not only the energy was lost, but it was an energy that was bubbling inside of me as well. I wanted to go back to the forefront of just the bite and just the grit of rap, just all raps and hard-ass beats. And that's like the basics for me. I thought about, damn, what I used to like when I was a kid. Hard raps, good beats. That's smacking, right?
Hard rap and good beat. And what is the beat? The beat is the music that you're using, the sampling or playing, whether it be sample or authentic. Whether it be
que reflejan. Version of me, a third of me, demented, cemented in pain, juggling the pros and cons of fame. I don't know how to make friends, I'm a lonely soul.
I mean, it's that groove. But the groove is based in rhythm and blues. Because although that's an Outlaw's sample, although it's an Outlaw sample, the Outlaw still sample. That was a sample of a sample because the original is. That's the original.
Que reflect to me, demented, cemented in pain, juggling the pros and cons of fame. I don't know how to make friends, I'm a lonely soul. I reckon.
It always comes back to the rhythm and blues. That's why I always say hip hop is just looped rhythm and blues with somebody rapping over the top. That's what rap music is. It's rhythm and blues music that's looped, but instead of somebody singing, they're rapping. That's what rap music is. That's what hip hop is. Don't let them tell you it's influenced by Jamaica or Africa. No, it's influenced by its immediate environment, and the immediate environment is the United States. That's why there's no rap in Jamaica. That's why there's no rap coming out of Puerto Rico, because that environment is not in that environment. That's why there's no rap in Africa. It's not part of the environment. Even the hard part 6.
Load up the Pro Tools and press 3. Studio filled with Jack in the Box and Pepsis. Niggas.
SWV, man. That's the beat.
We both seek and hope to find real love.
That's the beat. That's the beat. That's the beat. It all comes back to the rhythm and blues, baby. It all comes back to the rhythm and blues, baby. Don't let them get it twisted when it comes. And even earlier when I was playing Ashanti, what was her song? Isaac Hayes. What was Ja Rule's song? Stevie Wonder. It all comes back to the rhythm and blues. Always. Music is a sonic interpretation of your immediate environment. Never let it get twisted. Never get it twisted. Don't let these people try to say it's all these other things. African influence, Jamaican influence. No, it's influenced by the house that's being played in your mama's, when your mama getting ready for work. That's what rap is. It's the music we listen to on the way to church. It's more James Cleveland in hip hop than there is goddamn Fela Kuti. I promise you. And if you get a sample of a song that's not rhythm and blues, guess what? It's just a white person or somebody else doing their best imitation of rhythm and blues.
Knowing that trial and knowing what I put in as far as my thinking process and what it takes to get there, I do not look at it as a small like endeavor because it's a hit record. No, it's actually some writing in that. You know, whether it connect with you on a spiritual level, whether it connect with you on a comedic level, whether it connect with you just on a personal dynamic, it's still from a writer's point of view.
Yeah, you are
Right here.
an incredible writer. There are songs on GNX like Reincarnated. I didn't know what to do with that song for the first few times I heard of it, just trying to figure out where you possibly came up with the inspiration for a record like that. Like, when you're working on those songs, are you going through multiple versions until the right thing comes to you? It's hard to fathom, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, records like that. First off, shout out to Tupac. That's the number one inspiration. That was always one of my favorite records from him and Outlaws. With records like that, it's always going into my mind of like, what if, right? And crafting out my what if ideas to the masses. So when I think about concepts and I think about what I actually believe and what I feel, I just go through a breakdown as if I'm reading a book, you know, and how I want people to hear this from a book sequence. So my initial process is, okay, how can I open them up to the story? And how can I drive them to the ending point to make them feel truly exactly what I'm trying to convey, whether they take their own perspective from it or they take mine. I just want you to feel it first. You know, the right.
That part right there, I want you to feel it first. That was something that when I was learning music, I had to really get down with the feeling. Music is a feeling. Music is a feeling. And good music, what the industry did when the industry really got a hold of the music, the feeling is what they took away first. That's why you have electric instruments. I mean, not electric, the plastic stuff, the machines. That's why you have auto tune. That's why I'm so against auto tune. That's where you have all of these tools.
Kind of did my own thing. That really.
That's where you. That's why they put all that stuff in. They put all that stuff in to take away the feeling. Okay? That's what they did. It was all to take away the feeling. And the feeling is what means the most in the music. How you feel about every note that you're playing. How you feel about every word that you're singing. Maurice White used to always say the words don't matter. How you feel. How the feeling that's being transmitted. And that's why Kendrick is hitting so hard. A lot of these people, when it comes down to it, they're like, I don't know why, it's just it's not a song you could bop to. Man, all that bopping shit is secondary to feeling, man. But the industry has put music that you can bop to the forefront, so you don't get the feeling. That's what we get from the blues. That's what we get from the blues. That's why like BB King was so popular on his guitar. He just makes that guitar cry. Ain't none of the notes straight. It's the feeling. Let me give you an example. I put my documentary together. Hassan, forgive me. Hassan, he's my producer for my documentary I'm doing.
The first black church of record is the AME Church.
He's my. Let me see here. Let me go to a different scene. Hold on. Here we go.
The first black church.
This is my gospel documentary I'm putting together right now. Let me give you an example. My man Kenneth Crouch gave me some good words. I'm gonna let my man Kenneth Crouch say it.
So you're playing like in D?
Church.
This is Kenneth Crouch talking about like playing in white church. He said white church.
But if you go to a black church,
And that's all you're gonna get. That's just a piece of my documentary I'm working on right now. We putting all this shit, nigga. I got something cooking up for y'all monkey asses. Thank you everybody that donated. We a little behind. I know we're behind, but we getting it right. We cooking up some stew for y'all motherfucking asses. Ooh, wait. We breaking all this shit down. But I got musicians like Kenneth Crouch telling you it's the feeling, and it's these herbs and spices that go into the music that go right to your subconscious. You dig? It's them herbs and spices that make the music. So when Kendrick is talking about the feeling, that's what he's talking about. The feeling is them herbs and spices that you emote through how you feeling that day. And that's what makes good music. Great music. Timeless music. The feeling. You dig? So y'all, that's what y'all been helping me donate to. So I appreciate y'all for that. We are on the way. We moving. It's not moving at the pace I wanted to move to, but hey, pace don't mean shit. It got to be right. But we breaking all this shit down in my doc. Now where's the other timestamp I wanted? Okay. Let me see here. Where's that timestamp?
And how important and
Let me go back to the beginning of that question.
well, and
Here we go. Here we go.
and on that, you know, the connection between black culture and New Orleans, and how important and shaping our ancestors were in this town, music, jazz, all that. You always put our culture and black culture at the forefront of your brand, your music. Same thing in LA. A lot of our family members moved out to California from the South for new opportunities.
Man,
So
what?
there's a big connection between LA and the South. So when you say you walked in to New Orleans with that LA etiquette and all of that, I don't know if people really grasp that, but that's, you got to be feeling that
That's a
energy
bar.
like when you are out ready on Sunday to do your thing.
That's a bar. It's crazy, bro. Out of all my friends, LA, us growing up, all our grandparents either from Louisiana, Texas, Chicago, like, period. So our dialect and how we talk, it gauges from like the South and like the Bay Area. So like going to the store, we say finna. I'm finna go to the store. Like that's in
Finna,
South.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
See, again, that goes back to what I was saying before.
that's not.
Music is a sonic interpretation of your environment. And that's what we mean by a lot of hip hop roots being are more connected to the South than they are Africa. They don't say finna in Africa. Or if they do say finna, we don't know because we've never heard it. The slang used in hip hop is the slang of the neighborhood. And hip hop owes everything to New Orleans and jazz and what New Orleans produced for us. That's why I don't get into all that. That's why, like, y'all be getting mad at me for talking about New York. But I said all the time, man, fuck New York. Music would have been fine without your input, but it would not have been fine without New Orleans. And I don't mean that to say fuck all of New York. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying that is when you feel that you're greater than the culture, that's what I'm saying, fuck you. You're not greater than the culture. This is black culture. And black music culture got its first worldwide expression out of New Orleans. I said worldwide, not is we got expression before out of that. But before that. But what we now know is jazz. We had other music that we was expressing worldwide, our gospel, the Fifth Jubilee singers and stuff like that. But jazz is what we now know is America's classical music. And the popular music that we hear, the chord progressions in rhythm and blues come out of jazz. It's usually jazz musicians that are playing those chords that are pushing the sound forward, where the sound rises up into rhythm and blues, and out of rhythm and blues is sampled by hip hop. That's the lineage. That's the connection. Your jazz guys are the ones pushing the sound forward, always exploring, always new instruments, always new sounds. And those jazz guys come in, they're playing rhythm and blues. And when they're playing their rhythm and blues, they're using these innovations, these things that push forward, these sounds that come out of the jazz, like fusion. Like a lot of your Parliament Funkadelic, a lot of your Earth and Fire, a lot of your funk is fusion music. Fusion really got its really big start with Miles Davis's Bitches Brew. It was Miles Davis's Bitches Brew that really got the fusion thing popping. And from there, you get these fusion, like Parliament Funkadelic was a fusion of funk and rock. You dig what I'm saying? There's a lot of rock elements in your funk days and disco. A lot of that fusion. And those fusions made in the 70s is the pot that hip hop still in 2024 goes back to pull from. That's the cultural lineage connection in music. You dig? Yeah, I'm from LA. I got parents from Texas, grandparents from Texas, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Chicago, all over. Yeah, Harlem Petty Jones, Harlem Renaissance. But we got to understand this. On top of the Harlem Renaissance is what we hear about the most, but we got to understand that in the 1920s and 30s, there was a Renaissance everywhere black people laid. LA had its own version of the Harlem Renaissance. Had the LA Renaissance with Central Avenue and Broadway. You know, Broadway had the Savoy, the Cotton Club in LA on Broadway, on 52nd and Broadway. That was the first time anybody was ever arrested for smoking marijuana, Louis Armstrong. You had all the stuff on the Central Avenue Jazz, all that you had the San Francisco Fillmore is starting to get going around that. It started in the early days of that, the Fillmore district. Detroit had its own Renaissance period. Chicago had a major Renaissance in the 1920s. Major. And as far as black music goes, we can go so far as say the Chicago Renaissance was more impactful because out of Chicago, you get a lot of black owned record labels. Like the music was getting played and performed in New York, but them Chicago niggas was on their business and creating record labels and radio stations during their Renaissance. Oh yeah, Birth of the Cool. Hell yeah. Man, please, all this rain going on right now. If I wasn't going out tonight, I might shit. That you just gave me a good suggestion. If I wasn't going out tonight, I would probably roll up 3 or 4 blunts and just listen to Birth of the Cool. And drink some Maker's Mark in this motherfucker. So, you know, I encourage you to go and listen to the whole interview. It was a great interview with Kendrick, and it was a great interview with Kendrick and Ebro and those people. You know, it was a dope interview. And I encourage y'all to go and listen to it. But with that being said, we gotta just, when it comes to music, all of this, that interview I just wanted to point out to you and show you that they got to go through far leaps and bounds to connect our music to Africa and Jamaica and Latin America and all these other places. No, music is a sonic interpretation of your immediate environment. What you're listening to at home, the music playing in your neighborhood, the environment, the weather. Those things is what goes into your music. And that's why when you listen to hip hop, those samples, 98% of the time, go back to rhythm and blues or a deviation of rhythm and blues. When I say deviation of rhythm and blues, I'm talking about when you hear it may be a band out of Europe. Well, that band out of Europe is just playing a deviation of rhythm and blues. R&B hit everybody by storm. And when R&B hit everybody, they try to come up with their own versions of it. They came up with their own versions of it and called it rock and roll. They came up with their own versions of it and called it lo-fi. They came up with their own versions of it and called it K-pop, called it J-pop. They came up with their own versions of it and called it Eurobeat. They came up, well, Eurobeat is more out of disco, house. But they came up with their own versions of it, but it's still a rhythm and blues derivative. And so is hip hop. Hip hop, you take an R&B line, you put it in minor chords, you loop it to you put a 2-bar loop on it, and you rap on top of it. You dig? Don't let them steal our culture. It was one more part I wanted to play.
No, LA, right? So that energy right there, and making that correlation, it means a lot to me for people to understand that. And the culture and just being black, I can't help that, man. It's just not something that I think about or even try to like go. I'm black.
And that's where Drake fucked up. The culture, Kenny didn't have to think about it because he black. Listen.
For people to understand that. And the culture and just being black, I can't help that, man. It's just not something that I think about or even try to like go. I'm black. It's just go.
It's in you. It's not on you.
Yeah, it's gonna come out every time. I can't sugarcoat it. I can't downplay it. I'm at a point in my life I can't necessarily fake the funk for nothing. And I've always had an essence of that. But you have kids and like I have to be who I am authentically. And if the world can't accept that, then so be it. But who rocking with it, I'm gonna put it all the way out there, whether it's in private or whether it's on the main stage.
Yeah, I don't think.
And that's what he meant by when I said before, they ain't like us. They not like us. It's a very black song. Very black song. You gotta be authentically you. Don't try to cross over. Go further into yourself. That's what the crossover is. Crossover is in being you being you. All right? Stay true to yourself. Stay true to the game. What's up, Star? Go to thewanb.com. Get your readings because I wanted to read, but I got somewhere to go, so I can't keep running my black ass mouth. I got to roll. But this was an interview. I wanted to break this down for all the creatives out there. I want to break it down for everybody, but especially you creatives out there. The creatives, oftentimes there's no guidance for the creative. The creative person, the creative mind, is a line that needs guidance, and the creative oftentimes get mixed up with the culture vultures and the vultures and the people who end up taking your creativity away and stealing from your creativity and hacking your creativity. Don't let people hack your creativity, creative people. Whether you're a musician, a painter, a singer, whatever you do creatively, do it. And do it from your heart, do it from your spirit. Interpretate your environment and do it out of you. Be authentic, be genuine. Don't look on the next person's plate. Eat your food and express yourself. That's how you do it, creatives. And some people gonna like it, some people not gonna like it. Oh well. But the people who like it gonna love you forever for being authentic. All right? Y'all have a good one. Remember, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.